All right, do I have a fun video for you today? Well, I think it's fun at least, but I'm hoping you will too. So I kind of gathered some quotes from Neville Goddard in regards to the importance of your mental diet, your inner conversations, your inner speech, your self-talk, because there's so much bullshit out there, and they really focus when they're teaching Neville and really heavily in SATs and all these other techniques that Neville definitely talked about, but they're not focusing on the mental diet like Neville says. And honestly, it isn't really about what Neville said or what Neville didn't say. It's more about, are you testing this and seeing this shit for yourself? Because I'm going to tell you right now, the minute you start focusing your mind and repeating a story that's favorable for you, you will start to see your 3D shifting without believing it and without feeling a fucking thing. So stay tuned. I think you're really going to like this, and we're going to dive in deep. Hey everyone, it's Kim Velez, Conscious Life and Success Coach, and I'm really excited to be here with you today. So before we go into these amazing quotes and kind of talking more about the magic of your fucking mental diet and the power of your mind with your thoughts, just your thoughts, I wanted to remind you that if you feel like you need additional support, I have so many different ways that I can support you through this beautiful journey. I have one-on-one coaching, I have email coaching, I have paid Facebook group. I also have a monthly VIP coaching group where we show up twice a month and dive in deep live on Zoom to really fucking, give you some laser coaching, hot seat shit right then and there if it's what you want and need. It's really fun, by the way. All right. So, and as of course, I have many different courses. I have how to manifest your SP back and keep them for good. I also have You Are the Prize, all about your self-concept. I also have Inner Child Masterclass, which is all about healing some people that have childhood trauma that maybe they haven't reconciled and healed. Then definitely check out my website. The link is below so that you can go find all these different ways for support. All right, so let's talk about this. So Neville is very, very clear. So here's one quote. He says, "It's the inner speech that is frozen in the world round about us. This whole vast world is but frozen inner speech. What are we saying on the inside?" Okay, another quote from him. "It is our inner conversations which make tomorrow's facts." And another one says, "Inner speech reveals the state of consciousness from which you view the world. Make your inner speech match your fulfilled desire, for your inner speech is manifested all around you in happening." And last but not least, whenever inner speech and desire are in conflict, inner speech invariably wins. Okay, so let's talk about that, because this is what's important. This process is so simple because how our brains work and the power that we have in order to focus on what we want in our mind, and we hold that story in our mind. It is shifting and shaping the outer world. So your inner world dictates your outer world. It's not your outer world dictates your inner world. So you really want to look at in sustaining things and manifesting in things, in a quicker way, rather than delaying it or not manifesting in a more favorable kind of timing, right? Even though we don't really control the timing, it's still understanding that your consciousness is what creates. You have to understand that when you start thinking your new story, when you start changing the conversations in your mind, when you're talking to yourself, you're going to affirm and talk to yourself from the viewpoint, the perspective, the self-concept of you having everything that you want. And that's a whole different conversation than someone who doesn't have what they want and they're trying to manifest it in, okay? So you really need to pay attention and be aware and know the difference. And then understand that the more you're focusing on this new story as your thoughts create, then the 3D is shaping, shifting, molding, conforming to this story. And you just persist in it. You persist until it becomes your new reality. You persist until it's showing up consistently and regularly in your reality. You persist until you fucking get it. Like, it's really that simple. Now, it doesn't feel simple all the time because we're so used to focusing on a negative story, a negative self-concept, and some old programming, especially people that have had limiting shit, programmed into them from childhood. But literally, you're just changing your focus, learning a skill set to change your focus, and keep reminding yourself of who you are and trusting in that unseen. You really have to know that your thoughts do create. It really is that simple. And you just persist no matter what is showing up. Do the techniques, go living in the end, right? Go right to that where, hey, I already know what happens at the end of the movie. None of this middle part matters right now. I know what happens at the end, and fucking reinforce that. So your thoughts create. So the 3D is constantly moving and moving and moving to mirror and match what's going on in here dominantly. So you just have to keep focusing until it's so dominant that it's pushed out, and then it's restructured itself to match your new dominant story. So persistence is the key. A lot of people get frustrated. A lot of people want to give up. And this is the internal process. It's like the battle within yourself. And it's not a battle with your SP. It's not a battle with anyone else. It's not a battle with money. It's not a battle with anything outside of you. It's literally your old story versus your new story. Which one's going to win? Which one would you rather experience? Because you're the only one who's in charge of that. No one else is. So this is how you train yourself to react less and less to the 3D. This is how you really master your mind, because all these other techniques help get into the subconscious, but we're talking about sustaining. We're talking about getting what you want and being the version so when your manifestation comes in, you don't default back to an old self-concept that says, I can't have this, I don't deserve this, I'm guilty for receiving this, I don't know, right? Like, I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough to have this never happens to me, this is weird, because all of that shit's going to be triggered. And a lot of people don't talk about this because most people haven't fucking manifested their SP back in their life. So they don't understand once they come in, what starts happening to you, that your old programming gets kicked gets kicked back up, and you don't trust it because you haven't been this version of yourself long enough, and you haven't experienced that version of them in a while, or even at all, or some of you long enough to really trust and believe that it's solid, that it's staying. And I say this all the time because that is the fucking truth. But all you need to do is master your mind. You focus your thoughts because your thoughts create. Your thoughts create. Your thoughts create until it becomes a natural way of you thinking from that version of you having everything that they want, knowing that you are a master manifestor, knowing that you literally can create and control outcomes in your life by persisting and focusing on the outcome that you want. There is no one else that can do that for you unless you give up your power and you allow people to do so. So Neville's very clear. Listen, I just handpicked a couple of quotes from him about the importance of inner conversation, inner speech, i.e. your mental diet, right? But if you go read his shit, you go listen to his lectures, something about mental diet. He's very, 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 very fucking clear that once you understand this, and he's done this too, he's even talked about when he's doubted things himself, that he would reaffirm a new story. So he would focus on what he wanted instead. So he says you can drop all other techniques once you master your inner speech, because that inner speech is what the outer world has to reflect back to you. You have to hear it in here first, over and over again, before you experience it out here the way that you want. Sometimes you got to hear it in here once and then you experience it. Sometimes you have to repeat, and keep hearing it and playing it over until it manifests out here. But it will manifest out here if you persist. So don't give up on yourself. Mental diet is all you need to worry about, all you need to focus on. It's training your mind. Not only will you feel better, but you'll manifest a better life. You're going to manifest so many amazing things that you just like, holy fuck. Because this, your inner speech, your inner conversations, the inner talkings that you have to yourself about who you are and everything else around you is what will be. All right, so I hope you found this video helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe if you did, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.